Many thanks and a big applause to all the teachers and students in the European countries for preparing this premiere. Now we would like to welcome our foreign student correspondents from the Osbjerg School in Denmark. Hello to Sin, Katrina and Tobias. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay.
How are you?
Good, we're good.
Great that you are supporting the first International Climate School Conference. How old are you and which grade are you in?
I'm 15 and I'm in 9th grade.
I'm also 15 and also in 9th grade.
I am 14 and in 9th grade.
What is the weather like today in Osbjerg?
It's a bit grey and it's just raining outside, but it's normally in November to rain a lot.
When did you first hear about climate change?
About 2 to 4 years ago in the news because the ice was building up in Greenland.
Okay, and is the topic climate change discussed in the class?
Yes, sometimes in biology and geography we talk about it.
Cool, and what is the CO2 footprint in Denmark?
The CO2 footprint of our school, we do trash sorting and in the school, many bikes in school. The boys use scooters, but recently have bought instead, computers instead of paper, so we have more paper-free school. And every year we have a project we call Naturvidenskabsfestival in Danish. In English it would be something like Nature Science Festival Week. And the whole week we do some kind of science, no matter what the topic is. There almost always is a topic of climate change. And around the school we have pictures and boxes with different goals for the world.
Very interesting. And what are the consequences of climate change in the environment and your everyday life?
We have to store trash, and the weather is much more cold in the winter, and there's still no snow. And in the summer, the weather is so much hotter than the last years.
And what actions are taking for climate protection in your region?
Sorting trash, biking to school or walking, eating less meat, and we use computers to save the trees instead of paper.
And are there projects on the topic for students at your school?
But there are sometimes we have some projects about it, but it's not that much.
Okay, and are there projects for participation outside of school?
Not really much. So yeah, not really.
Okay, and then I would say thank you very much for taking the time for our interview. A big round of applause. Greetings to your school from Spain, Iceland and Germany. Now we would like to welcome our foreign student correspondents from Barcelona to interview them live via Zoom. Hello to Clara, Hannah and Ayman. Can you hear me?
Well, I'm not them, obviously. I can hear you. They are still finishing their lunch because we were scheduled to appear at 3, so I'm gonna get them. And they will be here momentarily in about 2 or 3 minutes if you can wait for them.
Okay. Now we would like to welcome our foreign student correspondents from Barcelona to interview them live via Zoom. Hello to Clara, Hannah and Ayman. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
How are you?
We are for 3 years old.
We are happy that you are here today to answer our questions. How old are you and which school and grade are you in?
We are 14 years old. We are students in the 9th grade of Gernet High School.
What is the weather like today?
The weather today is very hot and dry with 24 degrees Celsius.
Okay, when did you first hear about climate change?
At primary school, we hear about climate change for the first time, and we did some projects about it.
Is the topic of climate change discussed in class?
We talk about, but it's significant now because it affects our daily life.
Okay, and what is the CO2 footprint of Spain?
The average emission of participants living in Spain are 5.5 tons CO2 a year. The range in which the carbon footprint of a person in Spain is between 3 and 4 tons CO2 a year.
What are the consequences of climate change in the environment and your everyday life?
The most important consequences in our daily life are the extreme weather. For example, for a whole month or even 2 months, it doesn't rain, and suddenly it starts raining and causes flooding and damaged crops.
Okay, and what actions are taken for climate change, for climate protection in your region?
Nowadays, more and more politicians in our regions are putting in place laws to protection of the climate change, extremely with the issue of water.
Very interesting. Are there projects on the topic for students at your school?
Yes, we have a recycling competition between classes, which consists of putting each waste in the correct bin. At the end of the week, the rubbish is checked and the winner is announced.
Okay, and are there projects for participation outside of school?
Yeah, outside of school we have various projects, such as recycling cooking oil. We also have a battery competition, such as that consists of bringing all the batteries that we don't use, and then we at the end of the year we make a comparison between the other schools. Then we have at the end of the year we also have a collection of plastic rings that we can find in the supermarket.
Cool, then I would say thank you very much for taking the time for our interview. A big round of applause and many greetings to your school from Iceland, Denmark and Germany.
Now we would like to welcome our foreign student correspondent from North's capital city of the world. Hello to Isabella, Bjarni, Ani and Bjarni. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, how are you? How are you?
We're good.
How old are you?
We are 14.
You are living in the fear of another volcanic eruption. How is the situation at the moment for the people of Iceland?
We are safe here in Reykjavik, but with just a few earthquakes, people from Grindavík have only a few minutes to grab stuff from their home and had to leave their pets without food and water.
The situation is quite bad, with many cracks in the ground after the earthquakes, and the people in Grindavík don't know if they will ever be able to go back home. The whole community is spread around Reykjavik in sports halls, summer cabins, and with families. Everybody is helping out. We will just have to wait to see what happens in the next following days.
When did you first hear about climate change?
I'm not sure. It feels like I've known about it my whole life.
Okay. Is the topic of climate change discussed in class?
Yes, we discussed it because we are part of the ERASMUS project where one of the subjects is climate change.
What is the CO2 footprint of Iceland?
Primarily, figures suggest that carbon dioxide exclusions from operations within the Icelandic economy were 5,244 kilotons in 2022, which is an increase of 21.2% of 2021, when they were 4,328 kilotons. In Iceland, almost all heating and electricity generation is provided by renewables, hydro and geothermal energy.
What are the consequences of climate change in the environment, and what are the consequences of climate change in your everyday life?
Glaciers are rapidly shrinking. They will disappear in 100 to 200 years. Meltwater from glaciers is the cause of global level sea rise. That means the global sea level will rise 3 to 4 millimeters per year on average.
What actions are taken for climate protection in your region?
Helping our nature, like restoring our wetland and planting more trees, making it feasible and cheaper to buy electric cars in order to reduce oil and gas emissions, sorting waste and recycling properly to stop waste in general, and recycling and getting a return fee for cans and bottles.
In Iceland, people react in different ways in order to prevent climate change. Some people are, for example, buying used clothes instead of always buying new ones and reselling their old clothes. Most people are using reusable bags for grocery shopping, making food portions smaller in order to decrease unnecessary food waste at their school. At our school, we portion our food ourselves in our school cafeteria to save food. Saving water, although it doesn't cost very much in Iceland, and reducing consumptions in general.
Are there projects on the topic for students at your school?
Yes, we have a project called the Green Flag, and there we have 2 students from each grade and 2 teachers. The goal of the Green Flag project is to improve the school's environment, reduce waste of water energy, promote the sense of community within the school, increase environmental awareness through education and projects inside and outside the classroom, provide the students with an educational and skills to deal with environmental issues.
Are there projects for participation outside of schools?
We are not a part of any projects, but of course there are many organizations in the country that focus on climate change.
Thank you very much for taking the time for our interview. A big round of applause and many greetings to your school from Spain, Denmark and Germany.